Culture around our band, I think, is slightly different than, you know, some of our friends that are in bands or whatever. Like, we've really seen that the significant connection between the people who like our band and us is probably part of what's kept us around for as long as we've been around. I think that it goes beyond the music. I think in a lot of ways we sort of represent something that a lot of those kids don't have, you know, in other bands or in other sort of like public figures. And I think the transparency and like being able to tell so many stories and have them be able to identify with us, I think that it's made a really special bond. So we spend a lot of time trying to like think of ways that we can still be sort of like directly talking to them and impacting them. And I think you know, like making some of the videos and the online web series and, you know, the blogs and some of the pre-order stuff that we did, where we did like the magazines and like the special items and all those kinds of things that we do. It's all sort of just to kind of entertain them, like almost like our kids. Like, we're just like trying to constantly think of like ways that we can keep them interested on a long car ride. You know, like I think we get a kick out of it. And when we're not working on music, it's sort of another way for us to be creative and sort of like show other sides of our personality. Here comes a rush before we touch. Landed in Minneapolis, and I opened up my guitar case, and my guitar neck was like broken right in half. And so we had to find replacement guitars, and I can't even remember the guitar model now, but the replacement guitar that the tour manager at the time got for me was a Gibson. And so that was like my first experience playing a Gibson, and I don't even remember what it was. But when we started working on the con, Chris Walla just had like a ton of guitars in his studio, and so we just started experimenting. It was the first time, I think as girls we were shy to try all sorts of different guitars. Like, I wasn't necessarily a guitar player, I used the guitar to write songs, and so we got into exploring all sorts of different guitars. And at the end of making the con, Chris gave me, he'd gone out guitar shopping for me. He was basically like, I'm gonna find you an electric guitar that's going to be like better than all these other guitars you have, and you only need one guitar. And he found me this, like, he called it Frankenstein, but like this Frankenstein melody maker that was like basically had like, he figured it had been broken a million times and glued back together. It was like, it had like this sticky sheen all over it. Like, literally we tried to clean it so many times, but I loved it. It was so noisy. I had to use like a noise suppressor pedal. Like, it was just a mess. But I loved it. I thought it was so great. I'm sure our front of house guy hated me, but I thought it was so awesome. And I don't remember who it was, but so it could have been Shannon. But someone came to a show in New York and saw me playing this horrible, disgusting, loud, noisy, sticky melody maker and was like, do you want a new one? Like one that sounds better? And I was like, yeah, I do. And they sent me the Joan Jett, and I just like loved it, and I thought it was so great. And at the same time that all of this was going on, Sarah and I, for the first time ever, replaced all of our acoustic guitars. We'd been playing a whole whack of really crappy acoustics, but someone had suggested the Blues King, and I was like, okay. And we bought like 9 of them. We like got really into them. Then we got Sarah got into this whole phase where she wanted to play really little guitars. So then we got the Arlo Guthrie, and anyway, we just kind of became obsessed with Gibson.